Hi, my name is Dave Wallace, and I want to share with you why team learning and learning on teams is so important. So, as part of this module, the objectives are to we're trying to connect learning to all of life's interesting moments and talk about the implicit or natural nature of learning. And we'll also talk about learning from experience and how we can kind of add to that natural process. We're going to talk about the importance of mindset and the work that goes into this. And then we'll determine a little bit about how this translates from the personal level all the way to the team level, and why team learning is just as important, and putting the work into team learning is just as important as individual learning. So first, I want to get across this idea that learning is about adaptation. So look, if I wanted to learn how to play tennis, for instance, I'm a really horrible tennis player, don't really have a lot of experience. If I wanted to get better, learn how to play tennis, I would pick up a racket. One option is I could pick up a racket and I could just go practice every day. And I could just do this day over day. And the first time I did it, it'd probably be pretty horrible. And the second time I did it, maybe I'd be awesome. And the third time I did it, maybe not as bad as the first time, still not great. It kind of go up and down and up and down. But eventually, if all I did was just get out there on the court every day with a tennis ball and a racket, over time, just the repetition of the moment would reduce the variance in what I was trying to do. And I would get to some level of competence that probably meets some natural level of ability that I may or may not have. Probably pretty low knowing me, but maybe you'd get there. But if I really wanted to get good at tennis, what are the sorts of things that I would do? Well, I'd probably get a coach maybe, or read a book. As I got better, maybe I'd take videos of myself and watch myself play so I could learn from it. Maybe watch and observe it. Maybe I'd get a friend to give me some pointers. People I play with, I'd ask them maybe for pointers, especially if they're better than me. I'd ask them, what do you think of my playing? Maybe I'd read some blogs, watch some videos, all these things, right? And so I'd have this opportunity to really engage in learning about how to play tennis. We call this not just practice, but deliberate practice, where I'm practicing with an intent to get better. And so I'm really starting to pay attention to these things. I think there's a natural idea that we understand, but this deliberate process takes what we call controlled processes. It really takes an effort to learn on my part. Excuse me, I went backwards. So this is all part of a learning process. Learning is a process. Learning in this way is a process. And by the way, it's a process that we can learn how to do. So instead of just experiencing in the same practice conditions over and over again, I can take the time to observe, right? Watch that video of myself or get information from other people where I really observe and experience what I'm doing instead of really just kind of doing it. I can reflect on those observations and try and make attributions about why I think something is happening, and what I think might be going right or might be going wrong, what went well, what to work on, etc. And then think through what can I do to get better? What can I do to do things differently? Maybe I need to work on my backswing, or maybe I need to work on there used to be something about a C and the way that the arm movement went or something. I could think about how I could do these things differently, and then I could try it out, right? And this is that acting part. So we've learned that learning is a process. So we experience things, we reflect, we think, we act, and all this is a cycle. Some of us spend, depending on our own learning style, some of us spend much more time in the acting phase, the implementing, than we do in reflecting and thinking. Others of us get caught up in this reflecting and thinking side of the process and really just spend a lot of our cognitive energy trying to figure it out before we get out there and try new things. But as we can balance this out and learn where our strengths lie and how we can leverage those strengths to help us in other areas of this learning cycle, we can not only learn the learning cycle, but also learning our own abilities within the learning cycle and how we can put it to work for us. All of this requires work. We have to have a learning mindset. This can't just be about performance. This has to be about learning and really modeling failure as an opportunity to learn and get better instead of a demonstration of lack of skill. And it also really requires engagement in this active process. This is work. This isn't just getting out there and doing a thing. It's getting out there and doing a thing, but also learning from that doing in a way that's really important. And none of it's easy. This actually takes work. So the thing is that this is true at the individual level. It may be even more true at the team level. Teamwork is all about adaptation. It's about adapting to the team members themselves adapting to each other, but it's also as a team that emergent processes of learning where we learn how to do things. We learn the processes. We learn who knows what on a team and who's going to do what and what's everybody's different styles. And then as we get ready to do something, it's not just everybody. In fact, it's almost more important that it become explicit on a team and that it is that hard work on a team than everybody just guessing, right? This picture of these, I guess, these soldiers trying to climb over this wall. If everybody just had their own model of what to do, it'd probably take them a really long time to get over that wall. But if they can take the time maybe to practice and experiment and then to take a step back and learn from each other and see whose strengths are and whose weaknesses are where, and maybe a plan that they could do and come up with different plans, then decide to do a thing and try it out. And then when it doesn't work, instead of saying that it's failure, saying, well, that's something that didn't work. Let's see what we can learn from that and try something different. So again, it's these natural processes of learning of a team just gets better as it works together over time. But if we really put in that cognitive effort on the part of a team to learn how the team works together and really put an effort into reflecting and thinking and trying new things and creating new ideas, we're really going to see that increase in performance over time. So overall, what I really want you to get across here is this idea that learning really is about adaptation. It's about how we adapt to the world around us and how we improve our performance through that adaptation. And that this occurs and is even more important at the team level than it is at the personal or individual level. Thank you for listening.